You see, the average black family passes on, listen to this, $0 to the next generation. Yep, I said zero. That means when somebody dies, the family gets nothing. No wonder we cry so much at funerals. We're grieving twice, grieving over losing a loved one and grieving that they didn't leave us anything. You see, other ethnic groups leave wills, but we leave bills. Well, what does Proverbs 13:22 say? A good person leaves an inheritance to his children's children. That means our money should impact at least 3 generations. It should impact ours, our children's, and our grandchildren's. So we have to start building generational wealth.
Mm-hmm. That's it, man. But see, now we going back to this generational wealth thing, which I already said that I don't think that most people, and definitely the black community, understands what that means. I think we just need to start at the basics, right? What he said is very, very deep and very, very true. My dad says that same scripture about leaving an inheritance for your children. A good man leaves an inheritance for his children. And I think this is very true. I think it's 100% true that that's what a man should focus on, right? That's why I say your decisions, the decisions that you make are super, super important. I think we need to be more conscious of thinking forward as a community. I think that we think too much of right now. I think we're too focused on what's popular and not what really makes sense down the road, right? Life insurance is a topic that in my family, definitely like, my dad and my aunt, they have always talked about. Okay. They have always talked about. My grandma was the same way. And even my other auntie was the same way. They always talked about life insurance. And this is a topic that a lot of black families don't like to talk about because it is a scary topic, obviously, but it's a needed topic to talk about. We have to think forward. We cannot think that, we are going to be here forever and everything that we earn is just ours. We have to think outside the box. We have to think about when we leave, there's a way that we can actually give things to our family. It's one of the saddest things to see one of your loved ones leave, and then you have to pick up all the pieces just to bury them. There's GoFundMes. There are people doing dinners just to bury their loved one. And that's what life insurance would be for, to take care of the funeral and more. It is very, very sad that our community is not thinking forward and we're too busy thinking about right now. We got too many drug dealers in the community that make all this money, that stunt out here in the streets. They stunting. They looking like they got it together. They die. They pass away. And their children have absolutely nothing. What you mean? You had old schools, you had the cars, you had the clothes, you had the shoes, you had all of this together. And that's all you can pass down to your children. And you have absolutely no money that you made out there in them streets to pass to your 8 kids that you had because you weren't responsible. But you was cool out in the streets and none of your friends even care about it. Don't care about you no more. We have to understand the strategies to this. Life insurance is important to have on you and your family. It does not cost that much money. If you have a job, a 9-to-5, a full-time job, look into the life insurance that they give you. Also, always have your own. When we say always have your own, it does not always just apply to just money and entrepreneurship. It also applies to planning and strategy. So get the life insurance through your company, figure out what they cover, and then get your own. If this happens to happen, your children, of course, are going to go through their process, but they're going to have something to take with them when you leave. And even though you leave here, the way I think is, I still have something to give to my children if I'm not here, and they have something to start their life off better than I left. Okay? That is the goal.
Audio Jungle.
That is what is important. And that's just life insurance itself. That's just that part of it. But also while you're living, it's so important for men and women, but specifically for men, to understand the decisions that you make and how they affect you and your family and whoever's in your family. You have to make the right decisions now. We cannot continue to keep having funerals and keep having these GoFundMes, asking people to donate because we didn't take care of life while on earth. It's sad to see people asking for money for their loved ones. It is sad, all right? It is absolutely sad, not meaning like they're sad and they're sorry, but it's sad to see. Because you just want to grieve and go through your process, but now you got to go through another process that hurts your grieving. Think about the decisions that you make now. That's what's important. So when you're making money, don't just make money for you. Don't just go and buy the Escalade V for you because you know you can afford it. Don't go out and buy Louis Vuitton and all this because you can afford it. But think about your children. Think about how you can put that money towards like life insurance, your 401k, your stocks. And then like he said in here, a lot of people like to set up wills. And I've seen some black families set up wills. And you got some that have to deal with bills. Find yourself a way to set up a will, or better yet, a trust. With the trust, it requires some type of managing and maintaining. But learn how to set up those two, so that you have instructions for your money. There are people that have passed away decades ago and years ago that have passed down money to their family, and they have instructions on how to use that money. They are still living even though they're not here. Why is that? Because they planned for life. They planned for that. They understood and were responsible enough to say, I'm not going to be here that long. This is what I'm going to do with my money. This is what I'm going to do with my assets and my houses. This is who it's going to go to. Let's go. We have to start thinking forward as a black community. We have to put down the garbage. We definitely got to put down the rap music, because they're not telling you to do anything but to live in the moment and to just buy whatever it is you want to buy and have whatever it is you want to have, and don't worry about tomorrow. The famous song that comes to my head is Future's Mess Up Some Commas. And I used to sing that song when I was younger. And I got to a point where I said, that is the dumbest thing in the world, to work for all your money and to throw it away to just say, I'm going to make it back. Why am I not planning for this? We have to plan for these type of things. The black community has to start thinking ahead. This is the realest conversation that this man has said in here, is that we keep doing the same thing when people pass away, and everybody continues to pay for the bills and figure things out. And this is why I said earlier in the show, people are selling off their grandma's house, selling off their auntie house, because they don't have a plan and they don't know what to do, and they're just scraping up money. And we have to stop being reactive and start being more proactive. In the black community, let's think forward. How am I going to leave money for my kids? That is a generational wealth topic. Not how can I make a bunch of money for me? How can I leave something for my children? How do I do that? And you do that through one, life insurance. You do that for number two, trust and a will, right? Trust or a will. These are the instructions for my children. And here's another thing. Showing your children while you are living what they should be doing, how they should be living their life, is important. All right. When I seen this very deep topic, I don't know his name, but a very, very great topic. And I think it was worthy enough to talk about it, because here's the thing, man. I'm not just here to talk about the black community in a bad way, right? I just believe that there's a lot of things we need to work on. I believe that the change needs to start yesterday. And I think we need to have conversations like this. And we need to have conversations that really spark new conversations, right? I am tired of having the same conversations with my black folks where all they care about is race. We're still talking about race in 2024. We too busy trying to focus on who somebody's married to, what nationality their kids are, than understanding that we are all just one big group, one big race in different variations. And we need to understand how we can work together or how we can move forward as a family, as a black family. This is why I like to have these conversations. And this is why I want to have these conversations. And I'm down for the tough conversations. I'm down for it. Right? My dad has taught me a lot. My mom has taught me a lot. When it comes to a black couple, I've seen it, right? When it comes to a father, sharing valuable lessons and skills to his son, I've seen it. I've seen him be hard on me and my brother, and I didn't understand why when I was younger. So now I'm like, you know what? Whether people want to listen to me or not, I want to shed that same advice to other young men, right? Because at the end of the day, the world is going to be hard regardless of what race and what color you are. But there are things that we need to do as men and pay attention to. All right? That's it. That's all my show.